Hey people, it is Thursday, April the 22nd, and it is 1:36 in the afternoon. And I'm here at the corner of St. Clair Avenue West and Wychwood Avenue. And it is snowing, or almost more like hailing, really. Or snow pellets, I'm not sure what you call these. And this just sort of started in the last few minutes. But I'll be walking south here along Wychwood Avenue into Wychwood Park, which is a very interesting neighborhood, which I've never been to before. And so this will be not only my first time visiting for a video, but my first time ever visiting. And yeah, this little sudden snow shower just came out of nowhere. It's 4 degrees Celsius, so it's definitely close enough to freezing for this kind of thing to happen sometimes. But as you can see, the snow we got the other day is gone already. Like, it melted later that afternoon after I shot the video, as I expected it to. And this doesn't really look like accumulating snow. This is the kind of snow that kind of bounces off the sidewalk and evaporates. That's looking down towards Vaughan Road, and Bathurst Street is in that direction. And here we are passing Wychwood Barns, which is a former Toronto Transit facility that housed streetcars. And now it's a community center and art center for the neighborhood. Artscape Wychwood Barns, as you can see right there. And this is Wychwood Barns Park. And you can see these old streetcar tracks, which are decommissioned, where the streetcars used to come down from St. Clair Avenue. And they would go right here into the facility. You can find old pictures on Google of Wychwood Barns when it was still being used as a streetcar maintenance facility. And all of a sudden the snow has stopped. I think we're just about at the entrance to the Wychwood Park neighborhood, which, as it turns out, is a private neighborhood. The streets and other local infrastructure are maintained by the residents, not the city, at their own cost. And I think it's one of the only such neighborhoods in the city. And as you can see, it's gated. There's gates at the entrances to the neighborhood. And this was Founded as an artist colony, apparently in the 1870s. And there are 60 houses in the neighborhood. And many of them are very much on the pricey side. So, this is my first time coming in here, so I'm just going to be looking around, kind of like a tourist here. I think this is also the first residential neighborhood to be declared a heritage zone in the city, or in the province even. And I'm just looking at some of the addresses here, because I think number 3 is the former home of Marshall McLuhan, the philosopher who was known for his famous "Medium is the message." He was a professor at the University of Toronto. And he lived here in one of these homes. It's number 16. So most of these homes were built starting from the 1870s to the 1920s. But there were a few newer ones that were built in up to the 1950s. So this is actually a rather old neighborhood. As you can see, the streets are a little worse for wear here, given the nature of the neighborhood and how things are maintained. I guess that's not that surprising. I guess if the residents think it's good enough, then they have no one to complain to but themselves, right? This one looks like it's kind of unoccupied at the moment. So as I mentioned, this is a private community, but it's not a gated community in the sense that you can't enter unless you live here. Toronto doesn't really do gated communities of that type. So even though there are gates, as you can see, anyone is free to enter the neighborhood. Here's number 6. Just kind of keeping an eye out for number 3. That's a very big house right there. It's kind of like a neighborhood just kind of stuck into a forest here without trying to disturb the forest. I think that's Davenport Road down there. Oh, and I think this is the pond, the Wychwood Pond. This is also maintained by the neighborhood. And at one time I think it got so polluted that they had to dredge the pond at their own expense. I don't know if I want to go back down to Davenport Road quite yet. Maybe I'll explore up here a little more. I'm still looking out for number 3, Marshall McLuhan's old house. That one's really tucked way back there. It's almost like a country estate in the middle of the city. And this looks like an apartment building. I wasn't expecting to see that. That's a massive house. Number 69. I think that's my favorite address. And no, not because of that. Because that's the year I was born. Come on. And they have a tennis court. Some of these homes look like they could just be plunked down in suburban Scarborough. But then you have things like this, which look like they could be plunked down in, I don't know, like Massachusetts or something. And this one looks pretty modern. I wonder what year this one was built. And it's massive. I must have walked by number 3 back somewhere near the start of the video without seeing it. The numbers just keep getting higher and higher. And now we're back at the other side of the pond. I wonder if there's any fish in there, or any life really. I'm sure there's some critters in there. And there's a gate out of the neighborhood, but I don't know if I can even get through there. Don't tell me I have to walk all the way around. I don't think I want to do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under this gate here. So, watch what I do. Oh no, oh look at that. It's open. I thought it was closed. It's open. There you go. I was just about to pull a fancy move there, but at the last second I thought, pull on the handle, Ken. Maybe the door opens. And it did. Well, I'm sure I walked by Marshall McLuhan's house somewhere in that little tour. So now we're on Davenport Road. And I think I will head towards Casa Loma. So we're basically right in the neighborhood here. You can see we're not too far from downtown. Now the sun is out, and you would never have known it was like snowing just about 20 minutes ago. So I'm going to head up here, head north on Bathurst. And then we'll go down Austin Terrace, which leads to Casa Loma. I could have taken Davenport to the Baldwin steps, but I'd rather walk down the Baldwin steps at the end of the video. I think that would be a more fitting way to wrap up this walk. In a much more scenic way as well. And here we are. There's no traffic. There's a cool shot looking straight down Bathurst. I think I've been walking uphill continuously for the last 5 minutes. I think that's Austin Crescent going that way. We've got some rather nice large homes in this neighborhood for sure. And we have some Sakura trees. Oh no, these aren't Sakuras. Or are they? Oh, look at that. You can see the castle peeking through the trees.
why she was running, and then I looked up and I saw you there. She was running.
And now it's starting to snow again. So this says no exit, but I think that's just for cars. I'm pretty sure I can get through here on foot. Now, this is quite the mansion here. And looky what we have here. We have found Casa Loma. And I also wanted to check this out over here before we go right past Casa Loma. This is another awesome structure. A lot of people kind of don't really notice a lot of the time when they're visiting Casa Loma, even though it's literally right around the corner. This looks just as castle-y as Casa Loma to me. Let's find out what year this was built. Probably around the same time as Casa Loma. So the Casa Loma Stables, 1905. Only cost $250,000 to build this. These are the fanciest stables ever to be seen. Former stables. So Casa Loma was built in 1906. E.J. Lennox was the architect. He designed a bunch of very notable buildings around the city. Wow. This is quite the sudden snow event happening. I guess I can't walk right past the front. These poor flowers are probably not too happy right now. Look at this, like little pellets. It's not really flakes. It's little pellets that are bouncing off my jacket here. And there's the Spadina Museum. And this is Spadina Park, which leads to the Baldwin steps. Go back down to Davenport Road. And there's an awesome view of the city from here. Although with this sudden snow squall or snow pellet event, I'm not sure how good the view will be right now. Looks like a scene out of Game of Thrones. And the sun is trying to come out again.
Weapons and battles. Just but then considering that it's the boss Ian is sort of rigged the whole thing for the underdog to always win. But then this one character, Joe, makes the character an executioner. And she's just really ready to win every battle and kill all the destruction and chaos.
And looking back up. So that was Casa Loma and the Baldwin Steps. So I think I'll wrap things up here. So I hope you enjoyed the tour through Wychwood Park. Very interesting private neighborhood in the city. And then on past Casa Loma and back down here to Davenport Road at the base of the Baldwin Steps. If you enjoyed, by all means, consider subscribing to my channel and like and share and comment and tell your friends and your family. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link in the description where you can do so via PayPal. And you can also find me on Instagram under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.